Hey, folks. Okay, so thank you, Jennifer and Claire, for showing us all the wonderful tools that we have for our architects and developers to actually, get such performant websites and get all the goodness of Netlify. Now I want to talk to you about what you care about, which is business impact, and how to create that business impact. So my name is Dan Barak. I'm the GM of Emerging Products at Netlify, and I'm the former co-founder and CEO of StackBit. I'm here today to announce that StackBit is now Netlify Create. So Netlify has acquired StackBit to fulfill our joint vision of bringing composable web architecture to everyone and making it accessible by helping all the constituents in an organization to work together, but separately. So, what is it? What is Create? Create is a unified contextual visual editor. That means your product managers and marketers and content ops people and everybody can go ahead and make changes right there on your website, just clicking and moving things around and making changes without being dependent on developers and just having a very, modern UI experience like everybody expects, right? And the beauty of this is that you don't have to compromise at all. It's not a site builder that's locking you in any way. This works with any content stack, any content source that you have, any tech stack that you have, any backend, right? I'll say that again. You can build whichever digital experiences you want and need with the agility that you want and will help your business move fast and move forward. And then you can hand this over and everybody can just edit this really simply in a magical way, right? Now, fear not. This is not somewhere that you can just drag things around and everybody would create their own stuff with no governance and no checks and balances. You are designing the editing experience that your company will have, right? Brand guidelines will be followed. All the workflows that you have in place are still there. We're working really closely with all the backends and all the content sources to make sure all the validations rules are there and nobody can go rogue. And that means guardrails for everyone, and everyone can just be content working independently and collaborating better together. Now, we've talked about gradual migrations. Trying to move to a composable web, I think everybody in this room has acknowledged that it's a great idea. The problem is this 9 months of migrations that you have to go through, and nobody can touch the old system, nobody can touch the new system, and it's hard to make that leap. By having one UI through which you edit, and it never changes, and you can swap out the components, that means you don't have to retrain your marketing team. It doesn't matter where things are stored. Your developers and architects will take care of that. But then you just want to make a change. You want to ship something that will make an impact, a new partnership, reacting to events. All of that is just at your fingertips. Now, to recap, right? We have Connect and Core that are helping your architects build the digital experiences that you want, right? With all the bells and whistles. And then you can hand them over for your marketing team, and they can actually use Create to build pages, create applications, create new websites, all with a no-code experience for them in an environment that they find intuitive and easy to use. It's demo time. Now, I will walk through a pretty, something that's very timely, getting ready for Black Friday. So we will update an e-commerce website and show how these changes are made. This demo is built with all the goodness of the full composable web platform, right? So data is sourced from multiple sources through Connect. It is edited in Create and deployed with Core. And I encourage you all to visit our booth where you can dig deep, see how things are built, and get more demos, this and others. So let's get started. All right, so what we're seeing right here is the Create UI on the top and on the left, and I'm going to start making changes. I can simply click in and I'll notice that this content is coming specifically from Contentful. Now, I don't have to go there. I can just, on the page, change fall to winter, because clearly it's winter outside right now. It's also probably not the right time to explore. We want to buy now. It's Black Friday, right? So we're going to make these changes on the fly. Now, I'm going to go to my products page and see that the products, if you'll notice, they're actually coming in from Shopify in this case. And if I want to add a new product to this list, I can have the entire list coming in straight from my product catalog. I can see where items appear already on the website and make all these changes. Now, if this title doesn't suit me, I can even edit it here. By the way, it doesn't mean I cannot edit it in the content source. This preview will reflect everything. There was one more thing. I thought I saw a typo somewhere. And on this About page, there is a typo there, and this should be 1860. Now, one thing to notice is this content source, we didn't migrate it yet, so it's coming in from Drupal, and maybe I want to keep it there. But I can still make the same changes in the same way, in the same UI, and I don't really care as a marketer where the content resides. Okay, back to the main page. I want to add a little bit of content. Now, I will essentially go down and say, I want a new section. I'm going to create one, and all of these options are the same code component with different content presets set in them. So I'll select one. It's added in place. What happens is we're going back to the content source, creating all the objects there, and then seeing the preview rendered. So I want to make some modifications. I'll add an image to this section. I think it makes a better quote to see somebody's face. And I think now that the faces are not, the names are not aligned, I'm going to move it to the bottom. Again, everything you would expect from a consumer-grade site builder. And it's really easy for me to make these changes in place. Now, another thing that I want to change a little bit, like this brown to something darker for winter. You'll notice that in this case, I'm actually changing the color, and I'm free to do so because that's what the developers and designers have decided. Usually, I will pick from brand colors and not have the freedom to do whatever I want. Now, here's the kicker. I will reuse this, so I will save this as a template or a preset. And these snapshots, not just the visual appearance of this, but all the underlying structure, all the content that is there, and it will save it for me, in effect allowing me to build my own component library. As a marketer, and yes, sometimes I will probably need other changes, and I'll want an image in the background and whatnot. Then I can go to my developer, and that is the type of work they enjoy doing. Let's switch to mobile for a second. Now, this is not just a mobile preview. You can work here in this mobile environment. And this can also be configured to be whatever viewport you want. So here I see there's no break between the two, bright, light sections. So I'll just drag and drop and move this new section around and put it in here. So you see it's a working environment. Now this looks better, right? And I want to change back. And essentially, now at this point, I can add a lot of other constituents, share it with them. They have their own permissions. There's a QR code that actually, if you scan it, you can see it live on your phone. Anybody can watch it. And then I'll select what to publish. Now, obviously, it's Black Friday. I don't want to wake up at midnight. So I will schedule the publish. And as I schedule this, all the different content sources, everything will sync together and will be launched all at once in a synchronized way with your CI/CD pipeline and your processes. That's it. We're done, right? We've seen how this works, And now we have a brand new website that's ready to go. So now you've seen what it is, right? I want you to imagine, how easy this is, because I've seen this and I've seen the change and I've seen this in demos that we're running and I've seen this live customers making their first change, and it's amazing to see. All of a sudden, you can make a change in minutes and you don't have to go into a ticket vortex and be like, I need to now submit a ticket to my development team. That development team is working on more important things and you're gonna get deprioritized and it's gonna take 7 days and you're just gonna give up. And you're not even gonna start sometimes. And that's a shame, because business impact means you have to react in real time, and fast time to market means not just a fast deploy, but being able to actually have that change from your inception and the idea live. And so we're decreasing the coupling between these cross-functional teams and making them work together better. Now, I haven't shown you this, but having that one interface is not all about the content that goes into your website. It's also the content that essentially you need to make informed decisions. So for example, analytics. Why would I go to Google Analytics or to whatever provider to understand what's happening and then go back and forth? I'm already in my editing interface. I want to learn everything that needs to kind of go into my decision-making process right there. So you can surface analytics. You can surface your dashboards internally. The UI is completely customizable, right? So not only does it work with all the content sources and all the backends and all of them together, but you can customize everything about what are the editing options that you have. And if you want to see personalization or A/B tests, you don't have to open incognito windows and just hope that you're going to get all the variants. You can see the experience there and make changes. So the best part, or I don't know if it's the best part, but a really good part is that the integration is seamless. We are very much a huge believer in truly composable web. That means no vendor lock-in, right? One config file that specifies your content sources, your API keys and spaces is enough to get you started. And that's it. You don't have to register components, write them in any specific way, or do any kind of magic to make this work. And not only are these connectors available off the shelf, you can create your custom ones. And we've had plenty of customers that are building this on this open interface. So our editor knows how to work with it to deliver essentially data from and to any content source. So with that, this is the stack and the platform that now works together and ties everything together, and all the constituents and all the stakeholders in the organization. So it comes from the decision-making of the architects of how to build the architecture, from the developers who are building the components and are deciding how to ship it and how to deploy it and what are the processes, to the business people that are able to now continuously take this and drive impact, whatever it is. It's like sales or leads or brand awareness, and just get it done. So with that, I'll hand it back to Matt to wrap us off. Thank you.